Thank you to Drum Corps International and the members of the Hall of Fame for awarding me this great honor. I'm thrilled to be included in this class with Scott Burma, John Vanderkoff, and the late great Michael Duffy. I'd like to thank Rick South for submitting my application, and to those who wrote letters in support, Tim Salzman, Dean Westman, and Jim Campbell. I started in Drum Corps as a fan. The first show I ever saw was the 1973 Bluegrass Nationals in Lexington, Kentucky, and I walked away with the Stockton Commodores being my favorite corps. The first Drum Corps person I interacted with was Earl Joyce, who is known as the father of modern judging. In 1975, after a band contest he judged, he spent an hour with me after critique was finished to talk about the drill I wrote for one of the bands. I first attended the DCI finals in 1976 at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, and I became a huge fan of the Blue Devils. The visual design work of Mel Stratton and Mike Moxley in that show was inspiring to me. Thanks to Wayne Downey and Jim Ott for sharing their bugle arrangements with me so I could study their scoring and voicing techniques. And sitting in on several Jay Bocook arranging clinics was invaluable. Based on Tim Salzman's recommendation, Gail Royer hired me in 1983 as a soprano bugle instructor for the Vanguard, even though I had never touched a bugle before. I wasn't sure how that was going to go over with one of the strongest soprano sections in the Corps' history, but they were very supportive and so self-motivated that it felt like they were just taking me along for the ride. The Vanguard's next season was special for achieving the Corps' first Jim Ott Trophy with one of the youngest horn lines in the Corps' history. Watching 16-year-old Chuck McKinnon play his solo at finals that year was probably the most nervous I ever was at a DCI show, but he played great. During this time, Tim Salzman became my musical mentor and Gary Chapinski my visual mentor. In 1988, Gail Royer asked me to arrange Masquerade and a few other parts of the Vanguard's Phantom of the Opera show, and my role as an arranger evolved from there. Hall of Famer Frank Doherty recommended me to conduct a clinic in 1989 with a Japanese band visiting Los Angeles that led to me working with the Tenrikyo Aimachi band from Nagoya, Japan as their arranger for the past 34 years. So thank you, Frank, for opening that door for me. My work with the Cavaliers, leading to their first DCI championship in 1992, was my chance to meet marching guru Mitch Rogers, who years later was the best man at my wedding, and Jim Campbell, who came to UCLA several times to help modernize the UCLA drumline. Other drum corps staff I brought in to work with my band included Ralph Hardiman, Glenn Crosby, Sherry McGinnis, Jose Rincon, and Michael Zapanta. When the Vanguard played The Canyon by minimalist composer Philip Glass in 1999, I remember telling percussion arranger Jim Casella at the March camp that we were really going out on a limb, and that we would either win or not make finals. Fortunately, the Vanguard finished the season with their 6th DCI championship. In 2003, Dean Westman asked me to spend a week with the cadets to work with the tuba section during spring training. The next week, I got a call to fill in for the rest of the summer after Dean broke his leg. Dean, I'm really sorry you broke your leg, but I had an awesome summer with your horn line. The longest lasting effect of working with the cadets was recruiting their drum major, William Plink, to come to UCLA as a teaching assistant for 5 years. William is now the director of the University of Memphis Marching Band. Other TAs I recruited from Drum Corps included Steve Mason, Aidan Ritchie, Nathan Eby, Luis Cardenas Casillas, and Kevin LaBeouf, and a former Vanguard bass drummer, Kelly Flickinger, later became assistant director. Watching and staying in touch with these and many more people as they have become successful as teachers and in other fields has been very rewarding. I began as a fan of DCI, and I continue to be a fan. Thanks to the DCI community for this honor.